Hi, I'm Miss Renee, and today we're going to draw a simple tree. So I've got my paper the tall way here, and one thing about drawing trees that I've noticed is it's easy to run out of room when you get towards the top. So you want to keep the trunk of your tree, the bottom of it, towards the bottom. Like if you started your tree up here, you would definitely run out of room. So we're going to start a tree down here. And I start with the trunk of the tree, like this. I always make room for the roots. I like to put roots in there, because it helps the tree to be grounded. Okay. Some roots like this. Like this. Maybe one kind of going this way. Roots are going to get a little bit skinnier as they get out there, a little wider towards the tree, like this. Okay. Let's see. And right up about here, I think I'm going to start a few branches like this. Remember, branches are going to be a little bit wider at the base and get skinnier as they go up. See how I put an elbow in it? And we'll go like this. Wider at the base, skinnier as it goes up. I put a little curve in it. So you don't want it looking really straight. This one's going to be off of here. Okay. Maybe this one is going to be like that. And this one came from kind of behind the tree. Like this. Okay. Now I stopped all right here in order to put our leaves in. Remember I said this is a simple tree. So we're going to do a squiggly line like this and do the outline of the leaves. It's important to get that squiggly line because the leaves are going to look like they're kind of just all over here and there. Kind of like that. Now, we need to go back and add some texture. So texture, now the base of my tree needs to be wider at the bottom, okay? So I'm adding a few more lines. If I had a pencil, I might have erased it, but I don't have that option. So I'm just going to, we need some texture, which means on the tree we have bark. So I'm putting some little lines that represent bark. Maybe there's a little hole in the tree down here for little squirrels to go in. And I like to put a hole in the tree, in the trunk. You can always put a little owl in there or just use your imagination. But trees are going to be a little bumpy and this texture really helps. Okay, and around the hole, the bark's going to kind of go around it like that. Sometimes I'll put swirls in it. Okay. I'm going to put a little more little shadow in here. Let's see, maybe a little bit in here, the bottom of it. This really helps the tree look grounded. Okay, we don't want it like floating out in the space. We want it to look like it's there on the ground. Okay, and the holes a lot of times will have a little rim around it. I'm going to just make the hole black, and you can use your imagination on what kind of little animal is going to be in there. Of course, you can put an animal in there if you want. bring our texture up through our tree. Okay, and this will help when you color it also. If you wanted to color your tree trunk brown, you could use black doing this, or you could use a dark brown. You could use a marker and then color it in with colored pencil or crayon. A lot of times if you color in just with marker, you're going to lose any of this texture. You won't see it. So you want to put this in with something darker and then go ahead and use like a crayon or a colored pencil. Okay, so we need the texture in the tree a little bit also. So it's going to be a little bit darker towards the bottom, right? And what I'm doing is just kind of doing these squiggly lines, but it's going to be in like a circle, just like our tree is kind of in a circle. I went outside of the tree here a little bit just to show that there's some more leaves behind it. Okay, and I'm doing these kind of squiggly lines in a circle. Not really a circle, but the shape of the basic shape of the top of our tree. Okay, it's going to keep going in a radius, around and around. And they have to be very random, okay? Like so. It shows. Nice. And I'm going to put, like I said, a little bit more darkness down here because it's kind of, you know, the sun is up here. And so we're going to have some shadowing a little bit more down here at the base of all the leaves, because the sun isn't going to make it through all of the leaves. So, okay, like that. And then we probably want a little more shadow, a little bit here and there in our branches. Like so. And maybe this is another circle, like there was a branch there and it broke off. Okay, like that. A little shadow under here. Remember, it's going to be kind of bumpy, and this isn't a real smooth tree. Okay. Like so. Kind of showing how each of the branches are coming up out of the trunk. Like this. Little shadow. Okay. And when you go to color it, make sure you use different colored greens, because leaves really are different color greens, and one side is a different shade than the other side of the leaf. Also, you'll have it, like I said, more shadowing down towards the bottom, maybe a little bit lighter at the top where the sun would be. And we can't just leave it hanging out in air, so we need to put a ground on it. Something, you could choose any kind of a ground, really. I do like that. And then I'd like to maybe bring these down a little bit, like that. And, you know, sometimes you can, for ground, you can do a little bit. I just don't like empty space like that, so I just kind of fill it in with some texture. But also, sometimes I'll put, like the root is going into these weeds, like that. Just little tufts of grass. Just kind of help the tree to look grounded. Okay, you can, you know, do a couple here and there if you want. Obviously, we could put some flowers in there if you want. I just put, just so it doesn't look so blank. Okay. This looks like it needs to be like more like leaves of a plant like that. And you can put clouds in the sky. You can draw wind. I'll draw some wind because I like to do that. I haven't done that in a while. Sometimes the wind looks like this. The swirls can go different ways. Like this. Kind of puts a little magic into it. Shows it's a windy day. Let's see, maybe a little wind up in the corner. There. And that is our simple tree. So, once again, I want everyone to have a great day. All right, thanks.